Welcome to BNEWS Weekly. I'm Brad Bond in for Phil Gallagher. To the news. Well, it's election season in Burlington, and we here at BNEWS are working hard to bring voters the most pertinent information and all the contested races in the lead up to the April 6th town election. This week we held our candidate debates with the 3 Board of Selectmen candidates and the 2 Planning Board candidates. We also had a special debate on the ballot question that will ask voters if they believe the treasurer tax collector position should be changed from elected to appointed. We go now to BNews Director Rich Hosford in our election center for a recap of the action and a preview of what you can see when you watch them in full.
Hello and welcome to our BNews Election Center. On Thursday night, our BCAT studio was filled with candidates running in the upcoming town election and proponents and opponents of the ballot question for the annual town election debates hosted by Alan Folds. Up first was the debate among the 3 candidates running for 2 open seats on the Board of Selectmen. Incumbents Chris Hartling, currently the board chair, and Bob Hogan, the board's vice chair, and challenger Nick Priest, who is making his second bid for a spot on the board. The 3 answered questions from me and Wicked local reporter Joy Hosford on topics ranging from their past experience to the number of liquor licenses in town, what projects are needed in the next 10 years, and their position on the ballot question. The candidates also had an opportunity for opening and closing statements and a chance to ask the other 2 a question. All 3 offered their best case for themselves, and it is well worth watching to see where they stand on the issues. In the Planning Board debate, incumbent Carol Perna and challenger Mike Espejo answered questions from me on issues ranging from their professional experience, how the board balances protecting the community without having the process become overly burdensome on applicants, to the importance of working with businesses to land on a certain aesthetic in their designs. Though Perna was nervous in the debate setting, she still made a strong case for herself, and Espejo, a newcomer to town politics, shared his passion for the town. Finally, the debate on the ballot question pitted Selectman Bob Hogan, who was a driving force in getting the proposal on the ballot, against former town moderator and current Ways and Means member Phil Gallagher, who was in for the no side. Both argued their points with passion and precision, making for a high energy and interesting exchange. All 3 videos are on our website at bcattv.org, and we'll be sharing them on social media in the lead up to the election. As a reminder, the Burlington town election will be held on Saturday, April 6th. Polls are open in the Burlington High School Gymnasium from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Anyone who cannot make it on election day can vote absentee in the town clerk's office in Town Hall. That's all the latest from our election center. Back to you, Brad, in the studio.
Thank you, Rich. Well, a liquor license holder who had planned to open a restaurant in town has 6 months to either open up shop or transfer the license to a third party, or they will face a cancellation of the license. As reported on BNews, last year the Board of Selectmen voted to revoke the liquor license for Slezar Brothers Brewing Company due to a long delay starting work on the Burlington Beer Works project in the Crossroads Plaza at 34 Cambridge Street. However, earlier this year, the Massachusetts Alcohol Beverage Compliance Commission said in a decision that the town did not give the licensee sufficient time to either start operating its business or to attempt to transfer it to another entity. According to state regulations, a license authority, in this case the selectmen, must give 6 months warning. This week the issue was back before the board. Attorney Paul Sporn, representing Slezar Brothers, said his client has hired a broker to try and find another entity to take on the license, but had not yet found anyone. Board Chair Chris Hartling said the selectmen are interested in one of 3 outcomes: for the business to open, or the license transferred to a third party somewhere in town, or another entity takes over the same location and the license and opens there. The board ended the discussion by continuing the public hearing until October 7th of this year to consider the cancellation of the license if one of the 3 requirements is not met. The Cookie Monster is coming to Burlington. A special permit for Cookie Monster, a fast order establishment for cookies and ice cream sandwiches, was approved by the Planning Board during its March 7th meeting. Originally started as food truck business by the husband and wife team of Melissa Gale and Scott Linderman, Cookie Monster is set to occupy a portion of the old Scott Trade location next to FedEx at 110 Mall Road. The new store will have 14 interior seats and 4 exterior seats. Gale told the board that her cookies are made from her mother's own fresh from scratch recipes. The Planning Board unanimously approved the Cookie Monster application. According to a post on its Facebook page, the business plans to open sometime in the spring. Sounds good. The Burlington Volunteer Reserve Corps held a special meeting for residents about community preparedness and emergency preparation. BNews reporter Robert Paris was there and has this look.
An emergency can happen anywhere, anytime, and to anyone. Would you be prepared for any situation that you might encounter? On Wednesday evening, the Burlington Volunteer Reserve Corps held a special presentation called Community Preparedness.
We're having the Burlington Volunteer Corps annual meeting, and we're also going to be talking about community preparedness. And I'm doing a presentation. With the community being very resilient, being knowledgeable and skilled on what to do during a natural disaster or emergency is very important.
Residents had an opportunity to take a look at various survival kits on display.
A lot of safety, following through how to prepare for a kit, which right behind me shows how to prepare for a 2-person, 4-person kit for your home, a to-go kit, a shelter kit, also some handouts that I have that is very good about documentation. We have a document holder, so things that people don't normally think about having during or being prepared for an emergency.
Finally, you should always be prepared for any emergency situation.
So I would like them to gain the knowledge and some of the tips that I have for them in regards to getting themselves, their family, their friends, and their communities prepared for an emergency.
From the Murray Kelly Wing, I'm Robert Paris for BNEWS Weekly.
Well, the full presentation will be posted to our site, bcattv.org, in the near future. Some late season storms pushed the town's snow and ice removal budget into the red. During the Board of Selectmen meeting on Monday, the board voted to approve another $500,000 in deficit spending for the snow and ice removal budget. This budget is the one that can run a deficit under state law. DPW Director John Sanchez said most of the spending came later in the season, with the majority of the snowfall occurring in February and March. He said throughout the season his department conducted 15 operations, a combination of simple treatments and plowing. In total, the town spent about $500,000 to date, exceeding the $350,000 approved in the budget last May. Selectman Mike Runyon asked why the town approves only $350,000 in advance each year when it routinely exceeds that amount over the course of the winter season. Town Administrator Paul Sagarino said one reason is an attempt to keep the budget low during Maytown meeting, so as not to add unnecessary pressure on the town's finances during the time a lot of spending is being proposed. Sagarino said the second reason is that in order to potentially qualify for FEMA funds in very bad years, the town has to appropriate at least as much funds in the account as it did the year before. If the town were to appropriate $1 million, for example, during a time of prosperity, it would need to continue to appropriate at least as much, even in a downturn, to qualify for federal funds. So rather than trap the town in the future with a big number, they keep it manageable. And the annual BHS all-night grad party has been very successful in keeping Burlington graduates safe by giving them a supervised place to celebrate after graduation. Now, the current committee is poised to lose some members and is seeking new participation. BNews Director Rich Hosford has this report.
Every year, after all the speeches are given, the caps are tossed, and the pomp and circumstance of graduation is over, the graduating class of Burlington High School is invited to spend one final night together in celebration. It's the annual all-night grad party, an event that is meant to both give the graduating class one last big hurrah before leaving high school behind, and as a way to keep them in a safe environment on a night traditionally associated with parties and the possibility of drinking.
The all-night grad party was established back in 1991 as a goal to allow the graduates to celebrate safely after their graduation. They come in about 10 p.m. and they're in our care until about 6 a.m. in the morning, and it's allowed us to keep all of our graduates safe.
The committee even makes sure that everyone who says they are attending shows up, and if they don't, checks up on them to ensure they are somewhere safe. And it's a system that works. Since 1991, no Burlington graduate has been involved in an alcohol-related accident on graduation night.
We make sure they arrive healthy and not impaired in any way, and then we also make a phone call to any parent whose child registered for the party. So if they told us they were coming but they don't show up, we habitually call home and verify with mom or dad that, you know, their senior is not somewhere they don't know about.
The party for the last couple of years has been held at King's Bowl that donates its space to the cause of safety and fun. The venue offers its own entertainment, but the committee brings in even more.
The kids have access all night from about 10 p.m. until 5 a.m. of the pool tables in Kings, bowling in Kings. We also bring in a DJ. We bring in tarot card readers. We bring in airbrush tattoo artists. We bring in a roaming magician. And the highlight of the night is always a hypnotist who comes around 11:30, 12 o'clock and hypnotizes some of the students. And it's one of the highlights every year of the post-grad party.
Putting together a party of this size is no small feat, and while they only meet about once a month, members of the committee work hard to ensure its success. Volunteers work to book the entertainment, get the food, make t-shirts, and, of course, fundraise.
Even though the party's at King's, it still costs about $12,000 to run the party, so we have volunteers that seek donations, both monetary and food, for the night of the party. This year we tried something new. We have a square and everybody can donate $25 for a chance to win $500. So there's a lot of work that goes into planning it in terms of making sure we have enough money, making sure we have enough coverage for chaperones, and that kind of stuff.
Possibly hampering the planning for the next year is the fact that a handful of the committee members are mothers of seniors who are graduating this year, meaning they may not be around next year to help coordinate the event. Current members are looking for new members to join and boost their ranks.
We are in need of more bodies, more parents coming in at the freshman level, sophomore level, and these jobs can be done with multiple people. The more people who participate, the easier it is.
For more information and to donate or volunteer, visit bhspostgradparty.weebly.com. I'm BNEWS Director Rich Hosford.
Thanks, Rich. Well, the Burlington Police Department added 2 new members, both Burlington residents, to its ranks at Monday night's Board of Selectmen meeting. Officers Jacob DeSantos and Renewal Amogawan Jr. were appointed by Burlington's new town administrator, Paul Sagarino. Officer DeSantis graduated from Burlington High in 2014 and went on to attend the United States Army School of Engineers in Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, and the Non-Commissioned Officer Academy in Fort Campbell, Kentucky. DeSantis served in the Army for 4 years, where he worked as an engineer technical supervisor. His responsibilities included holding multiple leadership positions, demonstrating proper handling of sensitive demolition and ammunition, supervising the construction of government offices in multiple countries, educating and training team members to be technically proficient in all tasks, and he received multiple awards during his service for leadership and good conduct. Officer Amogawan Jr. graduated with a Master of Arts degree in Security Studies with a concentration in Homeland Defense from the University of Massachusetts Lowell in 2017. The previous year, he obtained a Bachelor of Science degree in Criminal Science with a concentration in Homeland Security from the University of Massachusetts Lowell as well. He is also a Burlington High School alumni. Since 2017, Officer Amogawan has worked as a background investigator for Claims Bureau USA in Woburn. He also previously worked as direct care staff at the North American Family Institute, Lakeside Detention in Stoneham from 2016 to 2017, and was a research assistant at the Center of Terrorism and Security Studies in Lowell between 2016 and 2017. Police Chief Michael Kent said both officers have extraordinary backgrounds and a range of notable skill sets, certifications, and areas of expertise that will serve the department well. We wish them both success. Well, a group of town officials and residents, led by members of the Conservation Commission, have created a Yes Burlington CPA committee to encourage voters to adopt the act that sees matching funds from the state for various types of projects in town. BNews Director Rich Hosford went to an informational meeting they hosted and has this report.
Last week, the basement reading room of the Town Hall Annex was filled with people interested in learning more about a state program that provides matching funds for various projects in town, the Community Preservation Act. The Community Preservation Act is a program that collects a percentage of every real estate transaction in the state and distributes it to participating communities. The cities and towns in the program put a surcharge of up to 3% on their property taxes to contribute to that community's local community preservation fund. The funds must be used in 4 categories: open space protection, historic preservation, affordable housing, and outdoor recreation. The program has been used for years by some of Burlington's neighbors, including Bedford and Lexington, and they and other communities have been able to garner some significant resources for projects under the umbrella of the Act. Now some Burlington town officials and residents, led by members of the Conservation Commission, are trying to get Burlington to adopt the Act and get into the action.
Well, we've been thinking about it for a while, and from a conservation point of view, we felt that other towns are investing in some of their infrastructure, such as boardwalks and biking trails and open space and so forth. And we were looking at, and always the issue becomes, how do you fund such a thing? And so it seemed like that the Community Preservation Act was a way of collecting funds dedicated to a variety of purposes that are not easily funded.
Under the Act, a town must spend at least 10% of its funds in each category, with the remainder being spread as the community sees fit. They can also be saved up over time. Those in favor of joining the program say there are a number of projects Burlington could undertake and a big need for funding in some of the areas covered by the Act.
In order to expand our open space, oftentimes parcels of property have come up before the Conservation Commission, and you have to have money available and you have to seek money. This would be a dedicated fund for that purpose. We have an active recreation department in town, and one of the things that we could be doing is think about upgrading our equipment, certainly, and the Community Preservation Act would fund that.
There's a number of things. I'm just speaking tonight with someone from the Historical Commission, and they are starved for funds. They have so little. To them, if they get $10,000, it's a big amount of money for them to try to do something with. We're talking here about a $1.5 million fund per year that would come into Burlington for CPA, 10% of which at a minimum has to go into historical preservation. So that's $150,000 a year. So certainly historical preservation is a good example. Affordable housing, if we could buy some of these properties as they go on the market and protect them as affordable housing.
To adopt the Community Preservation Act, town meeting must first approve, and then the town's voters must approve a ballot question, which the group hopes to get on the ballot in the 2020 presidential election. First, however, they must convince residents that the surcharge on property taxes is worth the benefit of joining.
One of the key things is community outreach. People will see the Community Preservation Act as just another tax, when in reality it's a way of creating a dedicated fund for to improve the quality of life and improve the character of Burlington.
To get the message out, they are forming a Vote Yes committee and are looking for resident participation.
We have an email address that you can reach out to us at. It's yesburlingtoncpa@gmail.com. You can reach out to that. We'll put you on a list so we can keep you updated on all the different things that are going on, educational opportunities, and ways to be involved.
From the Town Hall Annex, I'm BNews Director Rich Halsford.
Robert Fahey, the founder of the online archive of old Burlington photos called Burlington Retro, gave a presentation to the Burlington Historical Society and shares photos assembled from years gone by. BNews reporter John Vias was there and has this look.
February 28th, 1799. Burlington, Massachusetts was incorporated into a town. 220 years later, we are still growing strong. On March 20th, 1964, the Burlington Historical Society was formed in order for a group of concerned citizens to save and preserve a bit of the town's history. And 55 years later, the archives have increased. On Thursday, March 7th, 2019, Robert Fahey took the Historical Society on a time-traveling journey through vintage photos and advertisements representing the town, going as far back as the 1960s.
We always think that our current surroundings will never be quaint, that nothing will ever change, and that things as they are now will be pretty much as they are in the future, and we're always wrong.
Mr. Fahey is the author of the online feature Burlington Retro, a website that allows members of the community to dig up their precious memories of the town for online display.
It really bothers me when things are forgotten. I'm not really a typical historian. I don't read a lot, and I don't really relish old material, but when I see things that were in town and part of the town's culture, like let's say a popular store or something that somebody really worked their whole life to establish, a pizza shop or a restaurant or something, and all of a sudden it's gone and there's no evidence that it ever existed. That just seems wrong to me. Now that we have the technology to pretty easily preserve things and get them and put them in some sort of a narrative form that's easy to navigate, why not do it?
Mr. Fahey says that Burlington Retro's followers can only grow so much beyond the town itself, but the site will continue to grow so long as there are more undiscovered pieces of Burlington history soon to be preserved.
It has done its purpose because I've managed to preserve the town through one human lifetime, so that all the things that were here all the way back to the 40s can at least be seen and understood and discussed by future generations. That's the thing. It's not so much for now, it's for years down the road. Yes, the next best thing to having a time machine that can go in the future is having one that can go into the past at least, and so that's what I've built.
If you or someone you know has a piece of the town's history that you feel is important for preservation, whether it be a photo, newspaper article, advertisement, or document, be sure to take a photo and email it to burlingtonretro@gmail.com. From the Historical Society, I'm John Vias, striving to preserve town history as well, from BNEWS Weekly.
There are plenty of witness accounts that carriages full of groceries would be sailing down.
Thank you, John. Wow, that's an interesting project. Well, we are excited to launch our newest video segment feature, BNews Eye on Nature. In this first piece, we take a look at the maple sugaring tours at Mass Audubon Ipswich River Wildlife Sanctuary. Let's check it out.
For our first BNews Eye on Nature segment, I was lucky enough to spend the day at Mass Audubon Ipswich River Wildlife Sanctuary. A nonprofit established in 1896, Mass Audubon is New England's largest nature organization. And at its Topsfield location, it's maple sugaring season.
Today we are enjoying our maple sugaring tours, and so it's a New England tradition to tap your sugar maples, and so in the month of March on the weekends we do some family tours, and it's a wonderful time to get outside and know that spring's right around the corner.
I asked about the maple sugaring tours.
We start right from the beginning. We want people to understand that it's maple trees that you need to tap and how to identify what's called a sugar maple, because sugar maples have the sweetest sap.
And now the sap is flowing out of the tree.
And we take people right through how you tap a tree, how you collect the sap, and we even have an evaporator here in the sanctuary, and we make our very own maple syrup.
It's pretty simple. It's taking the sap out of the tree and then taking a lot of water out of the sap. And maple syrup gets left behind. Basically, if you tap the trees right at the beginning of the season, when the trees are just starting to wake up, so to speak, with the sap starting to flow, the product you produce will be a much clearer product that will, of course, have the same sugar content, but it will not have a lot of maple flavor. As you proceed through the season and those trees wake up more, day after day, week after week, that sap starts to collect everything that's going to give it the color and the flavor. So, beginning of the season, you get something very light without a lot of maple flavor. The very end of the season, you get a very dark product with a lot of maple flavor.
And so everyone who comes out here for a tour gets a taste of our sweet homemade maple syrup as well. And we do programming in all seasons, and so no matter what time of year it is, it's always a fun, exciting place to come out and visit.
From the Mass Audubon Ipswich River Wildlife Sanctuary, I'm BNews reporter Tad Stefanak.
BNews weatherman Peter Brown is out this week, but never fear, reporter Robert Paris is filling in with this week's forecast. And then we'll also take a look at the community calendar with Maddie Shipka to see what's happening in Burlington.
Hello, I'm Robert Paris, filling in for Peter Brown, who is out this week. We start our weather report with the almanac, which says we are going to have average temperatures with a high in the upper 40s. Historically, there has been spring-like temperatures in the past, with a high of 65 degrees in 2000. However, the historic low for this day was 12 degrees in 1968. One final note on the almanac is that the days are getting longer. The sunset will be at 6:51 p.m. Now let's take a look at the 7-day forecast. I do have to say, it seems like more average temperatures as we head into the middle of March. Friday, we will see partly sunny skies with some rain in the mix and a high in the upper 50s. Saturday and Sunday will bring more partly sunny skies and temps in the high 40s and 30s. Monday and Tuesday, another mix of partly sunny skies and temps in the high 30s and low 40s. Finally, Wednesday and Thursday will bring another round of partly sunny skies and temps in the mid 40s. That's all for your weekly forecast. I'm Robert Paris saying, as Peter Brown always does, get out and enjoy the weather.
We make young champions happen. Yes, it's Friday night at the fight. Billerica Elks, Friday, April 5th, 6 o'clock. 10 championship boxing matches. all night long, a boxing dinner, raffle prizes. You've got the details. Don't let me come and get you. Burlington Rotary Boxing at its best. Come visit the champions.
I'm Maddie Shipka, and this is your community calendar. Beware of the Phantom. On Thursday, March 21st, the Burlington Parks and Recreation Department will be having a day trip to the Providence Performing Arts Center to watch the classic play, The Phantom of the Opera. Based on the French novel by Gaston Leroux, The Phantom of the Opera revolves around a beautiful soprano, Christine Day, who becomes the obsession of a mysterious, disfigured musical genius living beneath the Paris Opera House. Everyone is welcome and pre-registration is required. Tickets are $105 per person. For more information, visit burlingtonrecreation.org or call 781-270-1695. It's a cinema spicy meatball. On Friday, March 22nd, beginning at 6:30 p.m., BCAT will be having their monthly program, The Cinema Series. This month, I will be presenting the 2009 animated comedy, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Everyone is welcome. The event is free, but pre-registration is required. For more information and to register, visit bcattv.org or call 781-273-5922. Come and enjoy all the fun at this year's carnival. On Saturday, March 23rd, from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., the Pine Glen Elementary School will be having their annual carnival. There will be games, prizes, a cakewalk, inflatables, food, and much more. Everyone is welcome and the event is free. I'm Maddie Shipka, and this has been your Community Calendar.
Well, the Red Devils sports are between seasons right now. Instead, we have one last piece of news from the winter sports season. Two Burlington High School hockey players have both won special awards for their achievements on the ice. Megan McDonald won her first Middlesex League Freedom Division All-Star Team, and Courtney Forty received the Christa Toscano Spirit Award. BNEWS sports reporter Robert Paris went to meet with them and their coach and has this report.
Burlington High School seniors Megan McDonald and Courtney Forty have just received two very special awards for their achievements on and off the ice. Megan has earned her first Middlesex League Freedom Division All-Star, while Courtney received the Christa Toscano Recipient Award.
It is such an honor to receive this award. I think that all the years that I've played hockey, it's really an honor to finally get the appreciation, and it's something that shows my dedication for the sport and how much I love the sport, so it's really nice to receive an award that shows all of this.
It was quite an honor. I've really put myself, put time into hockey and everything, and I've been playing it since I was younger, and to get to this award, it's very honorable that I got it.
Girls varsity head coach Marty Connolly is very proud of what the girls have done for the team over the past 4 years.
Well, they're great kids and very deserving of each award that they've received. Megan's a great hockey player. She led the team in scoring this past year. She's a total hockey player. She plays really well in all three zones, works really hard, and is a great role model for our younger players. So we're so happy that she got selected to the Middlesex League All-Star team. She deserves it, and she fits right in. And with Courtney and the Christa Toscano Spirit Award, again, couldn't find a more deserving player on the team. The award was named and created in honor of Christa Toscano. She's a former player and Middlesex League All-Star herself and one of the best players to ever come through the program. She passed away tragically a few years ago, and so the award is created to keep her name and memory alive and to honor the service that she provided back to her community.
Finally, as the girls' senior year approaches its end, they will always remember these awards and all the friends, family they have met along the way.
Overall, my hockey experience in high school was a great experience. I met so many people along the way. I played with so many different people. I learned how to socialize with any different age, especially with all the middle schools on the team. And from when I was a freshman and I had older people on the team. Again, it's such an honor, and I think that this is a great opportunity for me. So
I hope that I continue to play college hockey because I don't want to give it up. Like Megan said, I don't want to give it up. It really means a lot to me that hockey and everything, high school, everybody that I played with means a lot to me.
From the Burlington Ice Palace, I'm Robert Paris for BNews Sports.
Sounds like well-deserved honors indeed. Well, another week, another photo to highlight. This week we have a wide-angled look at Burlington's talented student musicians. It was sent in by BCAT's own Linda McNamee and is a panoramic shot of the Burlington Public Schools All-Town Band Concert held last Thursday. It's tough to fit so much musical prowess in one shot, but Linda was able to do it. Thanks for the photo, Linda. Well, we'd like to see your photos. They could be of something you see around town, the weather outside your own door, or even photos of your family members and pets. Whatever you think is interesting and would like to share. Email your photos to bcat@bcattv.org with the subject line Photo of the Week. Well, that does it for the news this week. Thanking a few people, Maddie Shipka with the community calendar, and we've got reporters John Villas, Robert Paris, and Tad Stefanak, and of course always thank you to Rich Hosford, our news director. Join us again next week for BNEWS Weekly.